I did some research regarding toxic plants just for us to be aware and that we might have these growing in our garden. The stunning foxglove. Well worth growing. This grows in zones 4 through 10. Some are biennial and some are perennials. The entire plant is toxic, so you want to be cautious. It can make people sick and your pets sick as well, so well worth growing. Even though it is toxic, your garden will be absolutely stunning with it in it. Lily of the Valley. It's hard to believe that this little plant is toxic. Look how beautiful these little flowers are. These plants grow in zones 3 through 8. They bloom in spring and they absolutely love the shade. They are toxic to people and pets, so just be cautious. It's well worth growing. Oleander. This plant grows in zone 8 through 10 and is drought tolerant. If you have this in your yard, be aware that this beautiful plant can be fatal to humans and pets. Even if the limbs are burned, the smoke can be fatal as well. So be extremely cautious if you do have this in your garden. Belladonna. This grows in zones 7 through 10, and this plant is highly toxic to people and animals. If honeybees feed on the flowers, the honey they produce can be toxic as well. They do recommend removing this plant from your yard due to the toxicity. Water hemlock. This beautiful plant grows in wet, marshy places. The toxic substance from this plant can affect the nervous system and is a violent convulsant, not only to people but to animals. The poisoning can cause death, so they say if you need to remove this from your garden, to put on full protective clothing and protective gear. Wisteria. This gorgeous plant grows in zones 5 through 9 and it takes years to start flowering. The flowers are fragrant and all of the parts of this plant is toxic. It can affect people, livestock, and pets, so you want to be cautious if you have this growing in your yard. Absolutely beautiful plant. Lily. These perennials grow in zone 4 through 9, and they have many different varieties. They're all absolutely beautiful and worth growing. They are toxic to cats, so be cautious of your felines if they are out in your garden. Lantana. These are considered perennial in zones 9 through 11 and annual in zones 1 through 8. They love full sun and produce these beautiful little flowers. They are considered toxic to people, pets, and livestock. Hydrangea. Different varieties of this plant grow in many different zones. This is one of my all-time favorite plants and I had no idea that they were toxic. They love sun in the morning and shade in the afternoon, and they are considered toxic to people and pets, so if you have these in your garden, be a little cautious. Rhododendron. These gorgeous perennials can grow up to 20 feet tall, and they do love part shade. They are considered toxic to people, pets, and birds, so if you have these growing in your garden, just be cautious. They are absolutely beautiful. Mountain laurel. Look how beautiful these flowers are. These can grow up to 6 to 15 feet tall. It loves the shade and it is considered toxic to people and pets. My research does indicate that it is non-fatal. It can cause weakness and paralysis, so if you are growing this in your garden, just be cautious. Monkwort. This perennial is also known as purple poison. It is very toxic and considered to be one of the most toxic plants in Central Europe. It's been used in ancient times as a poison used on spears for hunting and battle. Me personally, I would steer clear from growing this, but if you have it in your garden, I hope you're enjoying it. Just be cautious. Angel's trumpet. Look how beautiful these flowers are. They're magical. A small tropical tree with beautiful fragrant flowers. This plant can actually put you in the hospital in a zombie-like state. So if you are growing this, please be cautious. It is extremely toxic and can be fatal.